The FCC approving Paramount's $8 billion merger with Skydance Media. Joining us right now is Matt Belloni. He's Puck's founding partner. The deal looks like it's in the books, Matt. And so the question really, we can go back and litigate everything that's happened, but what comes next? What are the sort of the first pieces of things that you think we're going to start to see as a result of all this?
Yeah, can you believe we're still talking about this deal? It hasn't closed yet. I think what we're going to see is a pretty dramatic move by Skydance. Once this deal closes, could be August 7th, could be August 12th, if everything goes well, we're going to see some pretty significant moves, whether that means a move to sell off the cable networks of Paramount Global, whether that means dramatic cost cutting. It could be the merger of Paramount Plus and Pluto, their free streamer. It could be some new deals. I reported in my Puck newsletter last night, they're doing a big film deal with Will Smith, so he'll make movies for the Paramount studio. There's going to be a lot of very quick moves, I think, to kind of establish, because they've had a year to sit on this plan.
What about cuts? I think one of the big things that people have been fascinated by, obviously, in the last week has been the whole Colbert situation, but it raises the prospect that other parts of the business may get cut as well.
Yeah, I mean, Skydance has promised about $2 billion in cuts when this merger closes. So we're going to see both employee cuts and I think content cuts. CBS in particular has a lot of scripted programming that I think could be on the chopping block. NBC and ABC don't program as much scripted content as CBS does. And I think we're going to start to see CBS managed more like a legacy declining asset. And that will mean less content, less original content on CBS. They also have to make cuts so they can start spending a little bit on Paramount Plus. Cindy Holland, who's coming in to run Paramount Plus, she has a plan for the kinds of shows she wants to make. We don't know if that includes all the Taylor Sheridan shows, which have been powering Paramount Plus. There could be some cuts to the Taylor Sheridan universe on Paramount Plus. We don't know exactly how they plan to play that, but everything I'm hearing is that they want to make shows for less money, more inexpensive stuff, and Taylor Sheridan's shows are very expensive.
Right. What happens to the folks who have been critical of the president and others? I'm thinking about not just the Colbert of it all, but, you know, literally just this week, you had this South Park deal take place, and then the first episode of South Park is this, I mean, I don't even know if we can talk about it on TV, Matt, just exactly what we saw. I mean, it was on cable TV, so maybe we can, so I'll let you do that. But that plus maybe even some of the things that Jon Stewart was saying, Comedy Central, also an asset of Paramount now, just where all of that goes.
Well, I know you have watched Billions, so I think you can take it when we talk about this subject. But the Trump stuff on this week's South Park was extremely outrageous. He was naked. There was talking genitals. There was all sorts of things. And Sherry Redstone had the decision to make to run that or not run that with the FCC approval pending. And she allowed her CEOs to go ahead and air that as they wanted to air it. And I think that that was a pretty interesting decision. And it shows that I think ultimately they recognize they are a content company and they have to make and air the content they want. But Colbert, I think that was an economic mostly decision to get rid of that show because it was losing money. The next decision to make will be The Daily Show, because I am told The Daily Show is also not a huge moneymaker. And would they pull the plug on The Daily Show? If they do that, I think all fingers are going to start pointing at them and say, well, wait a second, is this economics or are you silencing Trump critics in order to curry favor with the White House? They got over the FCC hurdle, but it doesn't mean Trump is going to go away or stop paying attention. He clearly is. And things like, I think The Daily Show will be a big indicator of how they look at this and how they're operating, because they could get rid of it.
Matt, your colleague Dylan Byers has been writing a lot about the prospect of Skydance, or the new Paramount, or CBS, I should say, buying Barry Weiss's Free Press. And I'm curious where you land on that prospect.
Well, they're certainly negotiating with her. She has put a pretty hefty valuation. Financial Times reported $200 to $250 million on a business that has a lot of subscribers, but is still a Substack-based newsletter business primarily. Good for Puck if they sell that at that price. But I think David Ellison wants Barry Weiss. He wants someone in at CBS News who could be kind of a content consultant. She is a center-right commentator, kind of reactionary, more anti-woke than anything. And he thinks that that will both send a message to viewers and potentially to critics on the Republican side that CBS News is in different hands now. They're also talking to David Rhodes to come in and run CBS News, I reported. We'll see if that deal works out. They would like him to come in. He not only has experience at CBS News, but he once worked at Fox News for a long time. And they think that that will send the signal that CBS News may not have the quote-unquote bias issues that the Trump administration has been complaining about.
So $200 million, is that a fair price for the signal?
You mean for the free press, you mean?
Yeah. And would he be willing to pay $200 million for what you're describing as sending a signal?
My understanding is that they are negotiating. Typically, these figures you see out in the press are maybe wishful thinking, something that she would like to have happen. One source associated with David Ellison told me that there is no way they are paying that price, but obviously there is an active negotiation going on here. So both sides have an incentive to put competing numbers out there. We'll see. Good for Barry Weiss if she can sell her media outlet for that price or anything close to that. In this media market, that would be surprising, a welcome surprise.
It would be a welcome surprise. It would be great for Barry, who I've known for a very, very long time.